We begin this half hour with a young woman named Christmas, which is a story in itself this time of year, but there's a lot more to Christmas Abbott than her name.
She is a tattooed weightlifter, a former Iraq War contractor, and now the first woman to land a full-time spot on the NASCAR pit crew. A heavyweight resume for someone who is anything but a heavyweight. Christmas, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just start off with your name. Where did that come from?
I was born, yesterday was my birthday, December 20th, so I was my mom's Christmas joy, and that's what she named me.
Oh, that's sweet.
Thanks.
Now, you can, from what I understand, you can change two 90-pound tires in 14 seconds. Is that correct?
Well, the tires are 70 pounds,
okay,
65
good.
sometimes. But yes, that is correct.
How do you get that kind of a skill?
A lot of training, a lot of training. And what's beautiful is that CrossFit, my primary training, introduced me into NASCAR, pit crewing, and because of my base with CrossFit, I was able to learn the skills needed in NASCAR or pit crewing really quickly.
What's it like to be a woman amongst so many men?
They kind of treat me as like the little brother.
Right.
So, especially after
One
they
pretty
started.
little brother, but okay.
Especially after we started going to the gym together and we all started training together, they really looked at me in a different light.
I got to say, one of my favorite parts of NASCAR is watching the pit crews do the work they do in this amazing amount of time. And one thing that's interesting that you point out is that everybody who does this pretty much has to be an athlete.
Yeah, if you're not, they used to recruit the fans to do the pit crews, and then suddenly they realized that you can start shaving down time and winning races, and that's when everybody started becoming a lot more athletic.
This footage of you is really incredible. I mean, you are really incredibly in shape. What did you tell me your body fat is?
It varies between 8 and 10%, and I'm actually trying to up it to about 12 because it allows me to move heavier weight easier.
But what do you lift and how do you get in this condition? I know it's CrossFit, but what does that really mean?
It's so CrossFit is a training style where we take heavy weights and we move them quickly. It's anaerobic training most of the time, and it's just a lot of fun. I call it adult recess, and you basically recruit.
That's not what I did at recess.
You basically recruit your friends to work out with you, and then afterwards you celebrate together.
Now, you spent a fair bit of time in Iraq, and I think you went there because your mother was actually a contractor there, but you went there when you were 22. How long did you spend in Iraq?
4 years.
Wow, and this was during the war.
This was early, yes.
Yeah.
We were in the Operation Iraqi Rebuild, and
right.
From there, I went with the intention of staying a year, and just really fell in love with the work and the purpose. And so I stayed for 4 and then came home and started a CrossFit gym.
Anthony mentions your mom. You come from a long line of women who've accomplished great things. How has that affected who you are today?
My mom's such an inspiration to me, and she's just such an incredible woman. You know, in her early 30s, or late 30s, excuse me, she decided to go back to school.
Right.
And while having 3 kids and a full house, because we were always inviting people over, and she went back to school full-time, working full-time, and got her degree. And my grandmother, she's smaller than me, but a little spitfire.
Right.
And she will put you in line real fast. And my granny's also, you know, I just had a lot of incredible women in my family.
How do they feel about the tattoos? And particularly the gun on your hip, by the way.
Well, tattoos, it's a family tradition with my family.
Is it really?
Yeah. We went and got tattooed together a couple years ago. And my dad has these awesome biker tattoos that, he drives, rides Harley Davidsons. And, it's just kind of a fun thing for our family. But they are well planned out. They are all original. I think about my tattoo for about a year before I get it. And it's nothing on a whim.
Well, your figure is really a work of art. Christmas Abbott, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
And Merry Christmas, Christmas.
Merry Christmas.